Where's my right? If it echoes a bit, I'll turn it
Uh,
off as far as I can.
all right. We're live now, so there's no viewers, but I'll say hello nevertheless. So I'm with New Left and Abica. So basically, predominantly going to talk about the banking and financial system. It's something that it needs a bit of discussion. People are kind of neglecting it. They've been overshadowed by Brexit and other issues, but it's probably the biggest issue that we're facing in our society.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're going to it's about FIFA basically and talk about banking. So I'll probably just basically talk about the crash because the crash started in 2008 basically, caused by a big housing bubble in America, which triggered a domino effect across the globe. Now this was huge, the hugest crash since the Great Depression. But what happened in this country, right, is that banks got away with it. The risk made a massive profit, but when the value of shares in companies just dropped drastically. They bought these shares with actually nothing. Now they're making money off them. And then we built up the banks, even though the bankers got the money, took it out, we built them out. They struck all of them actually. Now, all right, I mentioned David Icke because David Icke said that this was planned for years to rescue everyone, which is a good, interesting prospect. And the worst thing about this crash is that who's paying for it? It's actually us. Now, immediately after, we had to the Conservative coalition of the Lib Dems, the austerity to pay for all basically the bailout, which the bailout was basically a massive loan from the Bank of England, which is
did you see when Nick Clegg was talking about the crash? I think this was around. I can't remember when it was, but it was the Lib Dem conference. He was basically slagging off Labour, and he's like, "We would never do this. We would never do this." You know.
Yeah, well, that was about as true as we'd never go into coalition. So.
Yeah.
And that you believe one, you'll believe the other.
Yeah. Oh God. Yeah.
Yeah, but how should it be reformed? The financial system.
Well, it should be. There's only two things. We have to put in the control of the public so it benefits the public. Because we all do this with various industries now. Previously, we nationalised the coal and steel. These were all big industries. No, the richest part of the country was places like Sheffield, centre of our steel, the steel city, and we nationalised it. So we could go to London and nationalise that, or we could destroy it, or dismantle the system and build a new financial system in its place, which is an equally viable option. Now, talk about nationalising banks and the banking system. And central banks as well. It's something that's been around for years. No, Karl Marx talks about this. It's nothing new. But Bank of England is technically state-owned, but it's not run by the government. It's completely independent and run independently by private individuals.
I think wasn't it Ed Balls that planned it? I think. Didn't he plan?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe, yes.
Because there was a big thing. Because there was a big thing. Like there's a big sort of what's the word? Like a confusion whether it was Blair or Brown, but it's actually Ed Balls.
Right, I don't remember that.
Yeah, because Gordon Brown, he was interviewed end of last year after the election, and he was talking about this on I think it was Good Morning Britain. I think.
Right, because what year was that?
What year when they nationalised? Well, not nationalised, when they made it independent. I think that was 97, 98, after they got independent.
Yeah. Well, that's why I never saw much of it because I was in Australia still then.
Yeah.
And it wasn't reported.
Because then they made it independent, so they could set their own interest rates, their own monetary policy, inflation, all that sort of thing.
Right.
Well, look, it's all about people who are actually bankers now, not actually people of government who's there to protect the interests of people. Now, if you look back, now who actually nationalised the banking? It was Labour. It was.
Yeah.
This is nothing radical actually. Labour on the Climate Act. Did they basically?
Yeah. I mean, I'd like to see the manufacturing just brought back completely, because it would make so many jobs, and the money would be going in our country.
Yeah. I mean, that's what John Mills talks about. He's talking about how we have a productivity crisis because the manufacturing's all been all but destroyed at this point.
Right.
Yeah, and what John Mills actually says that the reason that we're selling off our industries is not because there's an ideological issue. Well, it partly is. Oh, someone's at the door. Someone's at the door. I'll be back.
All right.
What's that?
Oh, it is his doorbell.
Oh.
No, I thought it was some sort of interference. I was like, oh.
Yeah, I did. I thought it was because I've got something saying new down the bottom, so I thought if someone's joined, it must be, like when I had my sound on and it came back.
Yeah, I've tweeted out the link, so hopefully people can see it.
Yeah. And come back, and I suppose probably when it's this sort of weather, people are out, aren't they?
Oh yeah, no, I was out earlier, and I bought some chips for lunch, but that was it because it's nice.
Yeah,
weather.
yeah. Well, I was out, but I check every so often, and then I was down the back of the park. That was when I took those photos. So
yeah, when were they photos with the ducks? When were they?
Oh, that was not last year. Must be about 18 months ago.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that was Abby's friend, the mother duck.
Oh.
And they sit next to each. I mean, she was a wild duck, but they sit next to each other on the pasture.
That's lovely. I mean, I love how you leave animals just by themselves and they just interact. I just love that.
Well, it's like when she had the ducklings, I was really worried, and I was trying to keep Abby away. Yeah. But she just sort of sat. I don't think she realised what they were. She sort of, because if it was a bird, she'd grab it, but she actually just sat and watched them. I think there were so many of them. She sort of thought, heavens, what's that? Because they were with the mother duck.
Yeah.
But then they gradually went down sort of one a day, really, because the fox was, and there were buzzards around and that.
Oh, so they were sort of being picked off.
Yeah, yeah, because, they weren't in my garden all the time. They take them, as soon as they hatch, they take them down to the river, which was just at the end of the park there. And then they bring them back, she'd bring them back each day because she liked me to feed her bird seed. She likes bird seed.
What the ducks?
Well, the big duck.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the mother duck, she liked seed and that. So she'd bring all the little babies, and each time she came back, there was one there. Poor little thing.
Yeah. Yeah, that's about birdseed. I used to put birdseed out, but the problem is, as soon as I stopped that, I saw a couple of mice in the garden.
Oh, did you see the video of the bird feeder and like
a couple of what?
Sorry, Cameron, say that again.
Oh, sorry, it's it. So the other day, what's happened bird feed out? Now I sort of spot mice, like a dead one, and another dead one.
Yeah.
In the garden.
Well,
who did that?
Yeah, they reckon you're never more than sort of a few feet away from a rat. And they're there. Yeah. But when you put bird seed down, they come and get it, don't they?
Yeah. But the thing is that it's getting concerned. When I moved to this house, it was like quite a few mice in when I moved in. Like in the walls and places like that. It took ages to get rid of them.
Yeah.
So I was thinking,
have you seen the video that came out a week ago where this person had like a bird feeder, and like a squirrel used to like go up there and eat all the seeds and stuff, and like they put oil on the pole itself, so he just kept slipping down.
Oh, poor little thing. I know. I bought a new feeder where I was before, a plastic one, and hung it out. Next time I looked, there were all teeth marks around it, and then I saw the squirrel. She'd come along, climb on there and chew it to get to the seed until, you know, the hole that the birds get it out of, it gradually got bigger and bigger.
Yeah. Oh my god, I'm just watching the video and it's like hilarious. He jumps on the pole, has like his front legs and back legs like clung to it, like trying to climb up, and he just slides down slowly. I'll put it in the hangout chat.
Yeah. Well, the other night, about probably 2 weeks ago, I heard this real yowling about 2 in the morning, and when I looked out my bedroom window, there was a fox just sitting in my garden, looking at me, yowling.
Oh, there's Labour Leave just shared this on Twitter. Britain should not be taken in by the EEA option. Its existing members increasingly want to leave, apparently.
Yeah.
Norway, Iceland, those sorts of countries.
Did you see Jack's comment in the live chat?
Oh,
duck's an analogy for people, and fox is one for predatory banking. Definitely.
So I was wondering, have you heard that news about the interest rate? It continues at 0.5%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they said the economy's slowing, but the reason they're doing that now, because we have so much low interest rates, so what people do when there's low interest rate, they take out more loans, which why debt's increased, but not everyone benefits because it goes to something like, let's say, Bright House, and buy project, you get some sort of ridiculous interest rate being slapped on. But for most businesses, the interest rate's at 0.5%, and from most mortgages. But the reason it's staying out that way because there's so much debt in this country, personal debt, in the recent last 8 years, it's gone up. That if they increase it, it will literally cause them a crash, which is without interest.
Because they didn't they like lower the interest rate significantly after the crash, and they've just kept it that low.
They had no choice because the economy's on its last legs. It's like a chair with 3 legs being held up.
When I first came back in about 2000, the interest rate was about 6%.
Yeah, I've got the historic rates here, and about 2000, it was 6%. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought so. Because this is what annoys me, like with pensions and things. They say, right, people can manage on this amount if you've got this amount of savings. But the interest that you used to get, you know, you might get, say, £300, £400, £500 of interest a year. So that would pay for a holiday or whatever.
Yeah.
Whereas with the interest rate being like 1% or less,
there's like no increase.
You don't get anything. So it's actually reduced the income of pensioners who haven't got a lot of money.
Yeah. And also I've heard it's linked to currency as well, so that's why one reason why the currency is a lot lower than it used to be before the crash, apparently.
Yeah, I think it does go on that as well.
That's why everyone's like talking about the pound at the moment. It's like the pound's not gonna go back up to about $1.45 until they raise the interest rates or something.
Yeah, but the pound needs to go up, does it?
Yeah.
But it's a $1.36 at the moment. It was at $1.43 at one point this year, and then it went to $1.36.
Yeah, but doesn't it also depend with the amount of the dollar and the pound, sort of who buys and who sells?
Well, it's about trading it on the market as well. Yeah, and it's about putting bets on the market as well. And that
forced the pound down because they bet. Don't ask me exactly how it works.
They bet opinion on it, I've heard.
That's what they did in bet, basically. They betted
the
foreign men, and
Yeah, but they invest on the basis that they're going to lose.
Yeah, and I mean, I saw when the polls were switching to Remain, because it was a very hectic night for the pound, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But when they said, "Oh, Remain's going to win," then it shot up to $1.50 at one point in the night.
Yeah. Now, was that just, well, that's because the market recovered, and so therefore people are buying, I suppose.
Yeah. No, but it's not that as such, because the pound was going all over the place during that night.
Yeah, but that, I think, is because people buy and sell all the time on the market, don't they?
Mm.
So isn't that why it goes up and down?
Yeah.
You know, it sort of, somebody hears that, right, we're going to stay in.
Yeah.
So therefore it might be bad for them. So they sell, I don't know, £1 billion or sterling.
Yeah. And
whereas that was what Soros, he actually manipulated the market.
Yeah, and the video I sent in the bullet chat about David Icke, he said that's how Soros made Sweden join the EU in '95. He bet on their currency and it fell, so they basically said, "Oh, you got to join the EU."
Yeah, that is what he does, and this is how he came over here, and then he got billions. It wasn't just a little bit, it was billions. And he bought it right down, and the Bank of England was trying to release sterling and all that, but they couldn't keep up with it.
Oh yeah. But the thing is, do you think the pound will recover eventually, or not? Do you think it's going to stay around this level, $1.35-ish?
Well, I suppose it depends what happens with Brexit, you know, after we leave, doesn't it? How quickly we recover.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody that you hear speak seems to think it will go down a little bit.
Yeah.
But who knows? I mean, if you've got the right people.
And I'm looking at this, and he said he made a profit of 1 billion during Black Wednesday.
Yeah. Oh, it's more than 1 billion, I think. I think it was a few billion, wasn't it?
Oh.
Sort of truth. I'm not sure. But this is how Carillion was brought down. That was what I was saying. I don't know if you saw it on the chat, that Sally Morgan is a non-executive director of Carillion. She joined 6 months before it crashed. She also sits on committees with Marshall Wade. I can't remember if it's Marshall or Wade I think it's Marshall she sits with.
Yeah.
And she's friends with them. Now, they were the ones who then looked at Carillion and bought short and then sold it, so it forced the price right down. Again, they're a hedge fund, and they made millions from it. Now, it's funny, that's what I was saying, isn't it open to insider trading? Because she's obviously on the committee for Carillion. She's on the committee, it's the school committee, I think, or something she's on with Marshall.
Yeah.
So is she going to say tomorrow, you know, or he might say to her, how's it going at Carillion? You know, it just seems to me, and the same thing happened to the company she was there previously. And Dixon she was with, and that went downhill. So it's all this buying and selling. I don't think hedge funds should be allowed to exist.
Yeah.
How's it, you know, how is it legal?
Not because people like to make money, but that's where it's legal. Yeah. So I was away for a bit. Was this about Carillion?
Sorry?
It's about Carillion and its collapse. So I just went away from this.
Yeah, well, because Sally Morgan was the non-executive director in charge of overseeing finance. She joined 6 months before Carillion crashed. She also sits on the committee of something else with, I think it's Paul Marshall, you know, Marshall Wade, the hedge fund.
Yeah.
And they were the ones that then sold Carillion shares short and they forced them into liquidation, and they made millions out of it. Now the same thing. Yeah, the same thing happened at the company she was with before.
It was worse about this, that the cabinet was actually informed about August, June time last year about Carillion, about struggling in terms of profits. Now, if it's such a big company and it's doing that, why did the government didn't do anything?
Yeah,
that's the biggest thing about it. The government could took a share on it, invested and put a share on it, make sure it didn't go down. But there's so many government projects on it,
don't you?
Yeah, but there's so many government projects. No, I can forbid anything. You know, people get them to maintain train stations, the clean hospitals, everything, all above. Another one is that around here, we're on that tram train project. Now, tram trains are a thing that are coming in Europe, that places like Germany, where trams can go to train tracks and tram tracks. It's a bit weird, but one of the massive projects between Rotherham and Sheffield, and now that's in jeopardy because Carillion's crashing. So it's massive public infrastructure projects are at risk here. So I don't know why this government hasn't gone in and actually nationalised it, but the still part in the EU. So if it makes another companies incompetitive, they won't be allowed to. Well, I don't know.
Well, they shouldn't be allowed to. It's just, to me, it's so open to abuse. Surely it is. You know, how many directors, knowing the level they're at, sort of in social level, they mix with directors of hedge funds and other companies and things like that. And it must influence, you know, I mean, we sit around and talk politics, they sit around and talk business, don't they? You know, and you can't tell me they don't say, oh, you could do yourself a bit of a good deal here if you buy, you know, shares in that, or I've got a good tip for you, or whatever. It's just, and again, then that all works to bring down the banking system, doesn't
it? You know, Henry Ford said that if people know the truth about the banking system, people will overthrow it. There'll be a revolution. Now, if was fair enough win for a rich businessman, but it's Henry Ford, but the guy personally invented Ford cars. You should look up about him because it was quite good actually to his workers. They treat them really well. They give him massive discounts, giving high wages for the holidays. But should look Henry Ford up. But even someone like him, sort of citizen as he was, you got to really think about it. How messed up our system is, because it's very different than it was in the 1930s.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's sort of a different world, isn't it, banking, that unless you're actually in it, it's hard to know exactly what's going on.
Yeah. I'm having a look at exchange rates, and both the pound and the euro fell, so it must be the dollar's rising again, I think.
Was this today?
Yeah, pound sterling live. So GBP/USD is 1.3494, and the euro is 1.858. So it's actually, both have fallen by 0.5 and 0.6 respectively.
And what happened to the dollar?
What was that? The dollar? I can't. Well, let's see.
Right, I wonder if it's linked to what's been happening in Israel and that, because things like that affect the market.
Because the New Zealand dollar to the US dollar has fell 0.63% too, and the US, and so is the Australian dollar's fallen 0.7. So it must be American related.
It must be. Yeah. I mean, the Australian dollar is quite close. Well, not linked closely, but it does depend on the American dollar and that. For
well, I looked some up on the news now recently. Trump has announced sanctions on Iranian mans.
Yeah, well, that's Iran too, isn't it?
So that's something to do. But Craig just said, why is Trump allowing dollars to rise? It's for an election campaign comparing about other countries that are crashing their currencies. to compete against, to outcompete the United States. Complain about China in particular for doing this. So, what is Trump actually doing in allowing the dollar to rise? I find it very interesting.
Yeah.
No, he's like to put tariffs on to kick out other industries, but he's keeping the dollar quite high.
Yeah, which is good for America. Well, as long as they're not. Is it imports, exports? I always get it muddled up. Which one? It's good if
the high dollar is better for imports, which is what America's trying to revert. Trying to become a better export nation.
Yeah, he wanted to do it the other way.
That's why I'm looking at this and thinking, what's going on with that? But
yeah, because what was it? He wants free trade exporting, but he wants tariffs importing, isn't it?
Yeah, he wants free trade for America, but everybody else has got to pay.
Well, he wants free trade for us, apparently. Now, but the terms are hearing out. And private in companies in the NHS, no secret phone calls, apparently, quote unquote, talking about how they put control the NHS to American companies. There's those rumours, and there's people who, let's say, who doesn't want made in the EU, who are having this narrative, which is ruined. No, if the Tories do this, that's really it's extremely ruined. But
I mean, I suppose
it's not going to say business deals all his life. I don't have a clue. At negotiating business deals, we can tell what this government's doing. So can we trust ourselves against Trump? Probably not. So I'd be very reluctant to go on a trade deal with America.
Oh yeah, because one of the big things on the Leave side was the fact that pretty much all the trade deals that the EU has negotiated promote privatization.
Yeah.
Well, yes, they did. Now TTIP would have put privatization.
You got CETA as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, I can't understand why anybody would want to stay in a trade deal with the EU, where customs union, where they've got the say.
But the thing is, if we stay in a customs union, first of all, we'd still be subject to all these privatization trade deals, and second of all,
and we'd have to pay tariffs.
We'll have to give the money from tariffs to the EU.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
No sense.
It makes no sense. Why would anyone push for that? If we're leaving, we should leave both.
Yeah, leave properly.
Yeah, because otherwise. We've got no say in anything, but we're paying probably twice as much.
Yeah, and also, like, I think both parties have now come on the customs union line, haven't they, basically?
It seems like it. It's just I just can't understand it. I think it's ridiculous. It's just going to make it.
Yeah.
Our trade is going to go down instead of up.
Yeah.
We'll have to look and see what happens with this one. There's a lot of opposition to an idea of customs partnership. Also, I think they're seeing that. I think they're struggling to find solutions to Northern Ireland, and I think that's a big thing. That's pushing to it.
Yeah. Well, Corbyn said that was why he was going against the customs union now, because when all the Labour people have been out talking to their constituents, they don't want the customs union. They don't want to touch it with a barge pole.
Yeah, I mean, like, even Remainers are saying this. They're just fed up. They just say, if we're going to leave, just do it properly. Even Remainers are saying that now at this point.
Yeah, and I think it must be clear to everybody that we'll be much better off outside of the customs union.
Yeah, I mean, but what's the point of leaving the single market and not the customs union? You're sort of half in, half out. It's weird.
Yeah, well, you don't want to be in the single market. We want to trade with everybody.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, with this, if we're not in the single market and customs union, we can actually negotiate deals which can protect our public services. Whereas the EU, they have privatization as top of their agenda.
Yeah, exactly. So it's just, I don't know. There was what was the other thing I saw that they want to Oh yeah, but someone else came out this morning and said again, it might have been Rees-Mogg, I'm not sure, but with Ireland, there is no reason why we have to have this hard ball. Actually, it wasn't Rees-Mogg, it was someone else. But anyway,
was that Hui?
No, it wasn't Hui. It might have been. Yeah, I mean, she has said it, and Rees-Mogg has in the past. But it was someone today said again that the only people that are pushing for the EU border, between Ireland and the EU, is the EU.
Yeah.
There's no.
But they're trying to get. Either two things they're going to try and do. They're going to make the whole of the UK stay, or they're going to try and break Ireland away from the UK.
Yeah, that is what they want.
Oh, and I'm just on the Independent at the moment. I'm reading this article which says student groups with 1 million members back call for a second referendum. And second of all, on the side, a link to another article which says Britain held to ransom by Tories pushing hard Brexit, Nicky Morgan warns.
Right. Yeah, but the thing is, where it says about 1 million students want, it's not 1 million students that want, it's the organisations that represent them.
Yeah.
And they haven't had a vote of every 1 million students, have they? It's just that they happen to represent 1 million students.
Yeah. But they're spinning it to say 1 million students.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, that's what they were trying to say. But then I saw someone else, I can't remember again who it was, but in one of the news, it might have been the Express, it was one of the newspapers, but they were saying that, no, it's not 1 million students that want it. Oh, no, actually, I think it was on Daily Politics yesterday.
Okay.
And someone said it's not 1 million students that want it. It's there's 3 organisations, I think, that represent students, and they have a total of 1 million members. But the fact that they come out and say, this is what our membership want, how do they know that? You haven't had a vote. Have you been asked to vote?
No.
No. And nobody else has. There might be a certain percentage of saying to them, we want to come, we want to stay in the EU, we want another vote.
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean it's so, does it?
But what's really sneaky about these organisations is they say, young people will be affected by it, but it's actually people using the young to get their way.
Yeah.
That's how I see it.
It is. That was right at the beginning. They started that. Let's split the young and the old, and it's all what they were trying to get was all the young to turn, because they did it before the Brexit. They did it on all the young are poor because all the older people are greedy and rich.
Yeah.
But the establishment has always put a dividing rule. We can see this anti-Semitism. We can see this almost everything they do.
Yeah,
this is nothing new.
That's how bullies work, isn't it?
Yeah, and also it was before the election. Actually, this was when I was still in high school. They did sort of like an assembly on like why people should go out and vote, and they made a really good point, which about to say the EU referendum. They said if more younger people wanted to remain, they should have voted for it because they said only 64% of young people turned out. So
exactly.
They had a good point.
But anyway, I think we should go back to the banking sector.
Sorry, Cameron.
Sorry.
Yeah, because
I hijacked your chat.
Yeah, because I wanted to talk about the gold standards. What's a big issue? Do you know anything about the gold standard?
No, I don't.
So basically, you back the currency. You back the currency, but by a physical object, so that gold. So when we have the gold standard, you say again banknotes. You can go to the bank and demand your balance in gold.
Yeah.
And the value of the money was basically linked to the gold. Right? That's a basic explanation, basically. What the gold standard was. People couldn't make money off in there and put it out.
Yeah, I mean, like notes, like £100 notes are actually worth less than the like £1 coins.
Yeah.
In physical value, at least.
Yeah.
To actually get the metal out of the ground to mint it. Take it from ore, make it to a metal alloy. It's rather expensive, actually.
Yeah.
Which is why in Canada, I think they got rid of was it 1 cent and 2 cent coins?
Yeah.
I think it's in Canada.
Yeah. Wasn't that what McDonald's said, that he could just make money because it doesn't matter?
It doesn't.
You know, if you want to go and buy land or something, he could just produce more notes.
Yeah, we could. I mean, this is the thing. No, we do that and give it to the banks. We do it. So what Corbyn said in his first hustings, when you bet Cuba the masses gutting for it. So you call us print money, but you don't print money. They put money in a computer, nothing there.
Yeah.
And give it to the banks. Something like 90% of money are in bank or in computers.
Yeah.
But I mean that's how I pay for stuff.
It's broken system.
I mean that's how I pay for stuff. I don't take out money, I just tap my phone.
Yeah.
It's numbers on the computer. This is why money is actually worth. It's worthless. It's just all faith in it. What gives it value? That's about.
That's why you saw the devaluation of the pound with Soros backing against.
It's like that man gets monopoly money and goes to the shop.
Yeah.
That's what it's like.
How do they know how much money they can actually print or allow for without it then becoming like, you know, how rubles, they were like, and the lira at one time, it was many 100,000 to the...
Well, how it works, right? So the Bank of England, like, if the government wants money, the Bank of England makes something called the IOU. The IOU is, it's got money, but it's technically not worth anything. So the government signs it, then send it back to the Bank of England, and that's apparently worth something. And then, and the bottom, it's complicated, and then they give it, but technically they borrow it from the people who invested into the Bank of England. And it's really weird. And then the Bank of England gives it to the banks. And for 1% interest, and then the banks will charge another interest when it takes on other people. So it's a weird, complex thing, but it's really nonsense.
You wonder, I mean, do they have to have the gold sitting somewhere to cover it, or can they just...
No, we don't have any gold. We've got to bounce it off. No. We got rid of the gold standard under Winston Churchill after the Great Depression, and then Gordon Brown sold off what we have left. So we don't have any gold now. China recently has been buying lots of gold. I got a weird feeling and put the finger up to the Americans by creating a gold-backed currency. Well, China's going to be a superpower at one point or another.
Yeah. Well, I know, like, silver goes up and down like a yo-yo, how much it's worth at the time. But when they decide, right, we'll print £2 billion, or we're allowed £2 billion more in circulation, what do they have to back that? Does it exist anywhere that there's something that actually is of the value of that 2 billion, or is it all just pie in the sky?
Exactly.
You see what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, and the system, we're made to think that more of this fake currency, well, not even a currency, more of this fake numbers is worth more, you know?
Yeah. But I mean, if I was Chancellor of the Exchequer and I wanted to nationalise the railways, so I decide to go and buy all the railways, and I need £50 billion.
Yeah.
So I go and print £50 billion and hand it over. But how isn't it worthless? Is there something somewhere that gives that worth? Because otherwise every country would be rich if they could just say, right, we've got another 20 billion.
Look, because if random government tried to print its own money instead of using the central banking system, they're piping inflation. And the reason it would, because more money supply.
Yeah, and it was before the the Nazis came along, wasn't it hyperinflation? And they used to carry money in wheelbarrows, didn't they? And they used to, and it got so bad that they had to burn money because it wasn't worth anything. So they had to use that to keep
well, that's
warm.
what happened in Russia with rubles and that. It became worthless, didn't it?
Yeah.
Well, that's why you have to be careful what you do. How you do things. Because we really create a lot of money to its existence from thin air to the amount that it's more than what Weimar Germany did. Now Weimar Germany did that because we were forced. I mean, it was heavily in debt. The French were occupying half of Germany and taking out its resources because they couldn't pay them.
Yeah.
They were forced to basically. The Soviets who thought they were going to invade. That communist types of revolution where fascists tried to do a revolution themselves. And Weimar Germany was a big mess.
Yeah.
But I still don't understand how you must have something somewhere to say that England is worth X amount of money.
Actually, this was a few years ago. That all poverty in this country worth a couple of trillion.
Yeah.
£1. Was it the Federal Reserve who did that, or someone associated with it? But the Federal Reserve is no big topic because that's actually private government.
Yeah, well, they fix rate and everything, don't they? And how much money. But what do they base it on? Is there something somewhere, like you said, somewhere that some countries use oil? Well, if we're not using that, what are we using? What are we using?
Nothing. It's free from the economy. That's it.
So, and therefore, our money's worth absolutely nothing.
Well, it's worth because we go to the shop and pay money. It's worth it because we accept the prospect as being worth, having worth. But it's paper, and it's not paper anymore. It's like plastic now, but it's worth nothing other than our faith. It's like that believing that God, jumping off a cliff, that believing that God will save you. It's like that. It's ridiculous.
It just all sounds sort of very pie in the sky.
Yeah. Well, look what it is, and this is why I say it's all a big system, and we don't have to be in it because every couple of years we're being scammed by these people when there's a crash, and we've got to see the patterns of this. And that reaches every 10 years that there's some sort of economic catastrophe. Which you got to think, if it's in cycles all the time, then it's not by accident.
Yeah. But it's a bit like, a game you play on your PC where you actually get money as not real money, but your total builds up as dollars, say.
Yeah.
And you can then use it in the game to buy things and barter or whatever, but it doesn't actually exist, does it? So if somebody suddenly said, well, who said you've got that much money? Say America could say to us, no, we're not accepting 30 million from you because you haven't got that much.
I got a question by Jack James. What was it? Does everyone know what John Mills thinks about Bitcoin? Because I'm not sure about that one. I don't know what he thinks.
I don't know about John Mills, but I know the guy on Money Program, whatever his name is, he says not to touch it with an absolute pitchfork. That it's a complete con.
Well, it is. People actually found Bitcoin, or millionaires now, actually. It's been quite interesting.
John Mills on it.
And if you talk about the devil, Bitcoin miners, right? How much money they make out of it?
Yeah. Who's Libby? That Jack James says Libby is a bitch.
I don't know.
No, I don't.
Yeah.
Not quite sure what that's
Because wasn't it Bitcoin? Weren't countries trying to bring in regulations to devalue it because it was going exploding, wasn't it? Basically.
Yeah, I think it was going really well, but according to whether it's a bit like, do you remember pyramid selling?
I don't think so.
Well, people, they'd all sort of club together and, you know, join a group, and there'd be somebody that's making heaps of money out of it. But they tell you, right, you put in £200, but then you go out and get 6 people to put in £200. So you're then sort of ahead in each one, and it gradually gets bigger or something. But in fact, when it all works out, the only people who, like on paper, it sounds as if you're going to end up rich, but everybody lost their money except for the person that started it. Yeah, look it up next time you're on the internet, because it was a big thing. I mean, there was I know in Australia there were a lot of people caught with it, and they think, you know, they're all going to end up. It's just a con. So whether bitcoins are a bit like that, that on paper it all sounds as if you're getting rich, I don't know.
Yeah, cryptocurrencies are the same, but most of them are not controlled by the same. Just the individuals who control the banking system. They're quite rogue.
Yeah.
But it's pretty much the same prospects about fiat currencies that kind of do apply, sort of, to Bitcoin. Those other cryptocurrencies as well. But I expect that they'll come big in the future, actually. I think Bitcoin's hit top value, but I don't think its popularity has. But we'll see. Anyway, I think there'll be a bit cryptocurrencies coming up into popular culture soon.
Yeah. Bitcoin's gone down again to 8,536.
Yeah, it will. It'll be going down now. I think it's hit its peak value at this point.
Yeah, I mean, that's why I've been like, prices for PC components have started coming down because the Bitcoin craze isn't as high as it was.
Yeah.
Because in America, I think graphics card prices got up to like $3,000 for cards that should cost $700 in certain places there. But here, I was talking to a few of the shops, and they said that in the UK, at least, it was actually really bad. So the prices were up about 20% over MSRP, thanks to the Bitcoin. But no, and this is right now. Actually, this is quite recently, but it was much worse last year when it started.
I don't know if that's actually had anyone I know's bought into it or whatever you do.
Yeah, I mean, it's like going back to the whole fiat currency thing. Like, people are wasting money on graphics cards and, you know, using up heat and electricity and all this stuff to just mine virtual currency, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, it's...
Well, that's all it is, isn't it? It's all virtual reality.
It's so actually how we're actually doing this. And burning up resources to find virtual things. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
So what does everyone think about the run on the pound? But that's related to this. When Corbyn gets in, they'll say there's going to be a run on the pound. Even say that in March 2019, there'll be another run on the pound. So.
Yeah. Well, they've been saying that every other day since Brexit, haven't they?
Well, yeah. The reason they are because the big people, you can't remember George Soros, quote unquote, the Bank of England. Some people tend to forget, but they can easily rig the price of currencies. That's all I'm saying. It's happened before. They could. When the Commons gets in, the financial establishment is going to be so frightened. So what to damage Corbyn as soon as he gets in, they can make it live in hell to do anything. So you know what? I think that will happen. Not because Corbyn's going to do it, because these people are going to rig it and sabotage the economy.
Yeah, it'll be the establishment don't want it, so therefore they'd sabotage it. You know, Corbyn isn't establishment, is he? He's completely. They feel threatened.
I mean, he's been campaigning
know...
against them since the 80s, hasn't he?
Yeah, yeah, and it's just, you know, their little way of life, isn't it?
So what do you think, if Corbyn gets in, what do you think will happen to the pound?
Well, I think it would probably, but short term, very short term, and, you know, like overnight and go up and then level. But the establishment will try and bring it down, won't they?
Yeah,
it was the same thing after the EU referendum, basically. Same affair. But the stock markets, right? They're the ones to watch. Not listen to the pound, but how the markets do, because the markets act really oddly after Brexit. But the crash basically. So after Corbyn gets in, what Corbyn's going to do is stay president globally. We'll have this left-wing prime minister and one of the most important financial nations in the world.
Yeah.
One of the most influential nations in the world.
Yeah.
I think there's going to be a negative reaction. You know, we've got left-wing movements actually getting ground across the world. And Bernie Sanders could follow Jeremy Corbyn to be president. Who knows? So the markets are also going to crash a bit.
Well, that's how the market makes its money, isn't it? You know,
yeah,
some people will lose out, but there's always people that make a heck of a lot of money out of it when the market crashes.
And that's what Remainers are using to basically sort of like taint Brexit. You know, they're saying, oh, only the rich will benefit, you're all going to be screwed forever, blah, blah, blah.
There's also there for not. The thing is about stock markets now, when these things crash, people buy them up for cheap because they know they're going to go back up again. so they buy it for cheap, next nothing, and make a lot of money.
Yeah.
Also, people did after the Great Depression.
Yeah.
And to let it crash, they bought stocks, they bought shares for bottom price.
Yeah.
That's what these people always do when these things happen. So when the financial market crash, that's what they're going to do. They're going to further monopolise, because it'll be the same people, same families all the time. They're going to further monopolise big business.
Yeah. Well, they are the establishment, aren't they? They're the people who run the country, and it's big business that runs the government. You know, they're the ones.
But I mean, what's to say? You vote for a party, but the government always gets in.
Yeah. It's they like us to think that we're voting for people, but if they really want to manipulate it, they do, don't they? And then it doesn't really matter who gets in, because once they're in, the establishment then gets hold of them.
I'm going to look at the side channel. So, because a few comments, I don't want to ignore anyone, but for goodness sake, man, it's Angels talking about a bomb and being gorgeous. What's going on?
You're working.
Yeah, society's talking about gold and brown, selling the gold.
Yeah, run on the value of gold and the political consensus.
Yeah.
What was that? Run away. Things like that are why I'm against having a gold stand.
Well, it's understandable.
Yeah.
Because it's hard to control the value of gold, basically. You want to know the value. It's not as easy to do it as fiat currency.
Yeah. I mean, does anyone know how much gold we've actually got?
Nothing. Gold and brown sold it all off. This is why it's going to be difficult.
About what's the Conservative position on selling the gold? So presumably, if he's talking about selling it, there is some gold somewhere. So have we built up gold again.
Things like that are why we're having a gold standard.
Yeah. And up above,
The value of gold and the political consensus was to sell.
Yeah. So, I mean, presumably there is some gold somewhere or other, in the vaults or somewhere in the Bank of England, I presume. But I mean, you would imagine that somebody has to actually account for how much gold there is, and that the public would know how much there is.
Yeah.
Well, it should be. It should be accounted for.
Yeah. Because when you think about it, like the Great Train Robbery, that type of thing, they often steal gold bullion, don't they?
Yeah, I know there is gold that. When we use store gold, we now have private gold, basically. Private individuals putting gold there.
Oh no, Jack says he was talking prospective.
Yeah.
Talking.
So wait a second. Actually, I think we should share the article that I mentioned earlier about Owen Jones. I thought that'd be a good idea to do and go through it.
Okay, yeah.
What was that?
The article about Owen Jones nationalising the banks, basically.
Yeah, we can have a look. Should I share it? Oh, are you going to share it or should I share it?
Yeah, you can share it if you want.
All right. Can you pin me to the just click on my icon so you can pin me.
Pin him to the wall.
Yeah, is that it? Have I done it?
Just a second. Yeah, there we are. Can you see that?
Yeah.
Okay. Financial system is rigged in favour of a crisis-ridden city to reap profits for individuals. It's time these institutions work for the good of communities.
Oh, it's disappeared.
Oh.
It's still up, I think.
Sometimes the case for policy is overwhelming to the level of ridicule it will get for the punditocracy. The nationalisation of the failed banking industry, the sector responsible for most of our country's current ills, is one such example. According to a recent poll, half the electorate support nationalising the bank, despite almost no one arguing for such policy in public life. The banks plunged England into one of its worst economic crises in modern history, spawning, according to the Institute for Fiscal Studies, perhaps our worst squeeze at living standards since the 1750s. The fact that they have been bailed out by the taxpayer but allowed to carry on as though little happened, including more top British bankers in 2013 making a bonus is worth over 1 million. And all EU countries then worth over 1 million than all EU countries combined, while public services are slashed to the rightly rather British voters. Yeah, I mean, that's how it is. They just want to save the top 1%. That's what it is, basically.
Yeah, well, yeah, exactly. It was really well put article by Owen Jones. I commend him for it because much of what he says is a bit weak. I don't really like much of what he says, actually.
Owen Jones?
Yeah, exactly Marmite for me.
I mean, I like him on certain things, but not on Brexit, at least.
No,
but I mean, it just confuses me when it goes to Brexit and him, because he actually, at one point, he did campaign to leave.
Yeah, he goes around with whoever he happens to think is flavour of the day, I think.
Oh, yeah, I think nowadays it's momentum, isn't it?
I think Owen Jones had like a common stance on Brexit. He's not. It was certainly in the form. Like Corbyn also is massively pro-integration.
Yeah. And once siege from the financial collapse. Those commentators political claimed Labour lost the 2015 election because it was too left-wing. Notable then that over 4 in 10 voters back then believed Labour was too soft on banks for big business compared to just 1 who have differed. Okay.
See, it's quite interesting because has anyone ever watched the Richard Allen show?
Yeah.
Yeah. So he had an interview with Piers Morgan. And that, what Rich Allen said that, why is Corbyn being so soft to the banks? And Piers Morgan actually personally, it feels like he's being forced into a position that he doesn't want to be in. So and he said that Corbyn's more radical than you think. He said that, but like us.
Yeah.
So to that person leave it, that's Corbyn's brother who was saying that to Richard Allen.
Yeah. Oh, Corbyn's brother. Yeah, I saw some of his videos when he was campaigning to leave the EU. Corbyn's brother.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's also a Labour member, and Corbyn tried to get him to sign as MP, but he didn't.
No, he was. I know Corbyn's brother was a Labour councillor at one point as well.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, but point is, no, views on climate change to the side. He's basically Corbyn. Very similar views.
Yeah. Well, a climate change denier.
Well, he's a meteorologist. He's a weatherman, basically.
Oh yeah.
He said, but he claims that climate change is a bit of, well, it does man-made climate change. I think these do changes in the sun and changes in the Earth's orbit, things like that, instead of man-made.
Yeah. British State owns a fifth of the retail banking industry because the stake in Royal Bank of Scotland repeated scandals that aftermath of the EU referendum result have dented the worth of the company's shares, meaning that the state selling its stake would result in eye-watering losses. Meanwhile, small businesses struggle to get the credit they need, and escalating household debt threatens the foundation of the stagnated British economy. The state's arm's length approach means RBS has failed both its customers and the broader economy. The profit-driven banking sector closed branches. I've seen on Twitter, I think RBS had some computer failure or something as well.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
Now, was that a few months ago?
No, well, it's recently when they're installing new infrastructure. I know a couple of people on Twitter who were with RBS, and they were saying that it's fucked them up a bit.
I think they're still a bit suspect, aren't they?
Yeah. Developing national infrastructure, renewable energy revolution is regional level, state-owned, responsible for industrial strategy. At the most local level, I can't say these names. They focus on developing relationships with local business consumers. They're not beholden to shareholders. Instead, they have a stakeholder model focused on helping local economies. Indeed, their capital has to remain in local communities. Oh, okay. Interesting. Like without examining the country's rapid deindustrialization in favor of the financial sector. Oh yeah, that's all deindustrialization. That's why they sold everything off.
Yeah.
I mean, but that's the thing. People say financial services are so important, all this blah blah blah, but you know, it doesn't have to be like this, you know.
But that's the thing, it isn't. They make it like this, but the trap term is to make it difficult to change it. Yeah. But the thing is, it doesn't have to. Anyway, it's a big scam. Anything about this. Yeah.
But then Angels was the big thing. It was was Ben and Angels who were arguing. It's like, who would you rather have, financial sector or the fishermen? And I said I'd take the fishermen over the bankers.
Yes, I would anyway.
Anyone would. Yeah, I like my tasty fisherman fish and chips on the Yorkshire coast.
Yeah, I'll have fish and chips.
I trust the fishermen a lot more than I would the bankers.
Yeah.
Yeah, as far as I can tell, the bankers can go and do one.
Yeah.
No, the bankers can. We can go Robin Hood on them, and they can suffer. Why not?
Yeah. I mean, but they're giving themselves money, basically, aren't they? That's what they're doing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Well, now they probably say they sell a product, don't they?
Oh, not sell a product. Just you put your money in there. You cry the bank because you cry the bank now because you can't get paid in cash. No, you have to go get some photo ID. Go to this recording organisation, and the bank's there to make profit, basically. But
trouble with banks, they've gone away from finance.
You know the origin of banks? Banks come from the Middle East. there's basically places where you get someone to protect your gold, and so you get a receipt, and there's a receipt. The receipt you get for the gold is larger than paper money. So that's how this whole banking thing started.
Yeah. But the banks have, they're not concentrating just on pure finance now, are they? They want to sell you insurance and, all sorts of other products.
Insurance is another big scam as well. Get insurance right, but it's getting tough, How the decide how the charge people is ridiculous. You get paid more if you mail, charge you more. If you're coming back now, it doesn't be dry, charge you more. The car insurance is a bit draconian, but it's understandable why I still have it.
Yeah, it's just all a load of.
Oh yeah, yeah, and he's talking about the public ownership of banks and how it's like accountable to local people. But what I don't like about the Guardian is it's like we want to keep our journalism as open as we can. It's like Wikipedia.
Yeah.
It's like a money, isn't it?
Yeah, in other words, I'll have anybody on there.
No, but I mean, I thought people were deserting the Guardian, though. That's what I've heard.
Yeah.
Well, I've been doing this rebranding. They changed that logo. It's sat out.
No, it used to be wasn't the website all blue before?
Yeah. And they're doing a lot of weird things. Like Guardian jobs, Guardian dating, not with that business ventures on the side they're doing now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Back in the sort of 60s, 70s, the Guardian was sort of the thinking man's newspaper, that and the Observer.
Yeah. But now it's. But people always say how good the Guardian used to be.
Yeah, well, it was then, and it had really good articles, and it was, it seemed to us more unbiased then. Yeah, but it was still very much a conservative paper. I think it wasn't something your working class labourite would read.
Oh yeah, the Guardian is. Compared to other newspapers, it's a lot better, but it's definitely not liberal. It's like very liberal. Well, I hate to say middle class.
It's liberal. I mean, liberal middle class Remainers. That's who read
not
it.
That right wing, but it's actually said to probably side to the left.
Because people say it's Blairite, basically.
Well, yes, basically. Yeah. Remember when the Blair coup? Everyone except Owen Jones. Well, backing Carbon, easy go on. They're going to win. I remember.
And it was, and also Brexit's the main one. They always bash Brexit, don't they?
How many Brexiteers have they got? I can't know any. I know I've got sometimes one or twice in the Independent, but I can't think of any. Guardian.
Yeah. Yeah.
But anyway, our media is basically bollocks, basically.
Yeah, I think the main thing we can agree on is that banking is a very complicated system.
It is. It's hard to explain it, but I try to understand it, but it's basically nonsense. It's literally. There's nothing about it. It's all weird, bureaucratic man-made systems that how basically create money to existence by sending IOU checks between central banks and the commercial banks. You have to look these things up. It's really odd.
It's probably one of those things they want to keep sort of a bit mysterious as well. Because
but I mean, if people find out the truth, they're probably going to start riots, aren't they?
Yeah. Whereas if they keep it all mysterious and nobody really knows, except that you put your money in the bank and they look after it.
That's why I quoted Henry Ford, because he's like, I'm distracted with this man. And he said, people know the true banking system, they're better revolution. Now, he's not right. He's right. If there's a way to tell people the truth about this, but there's plenty of material, actually, particularly on the internet about it. But if you get anyone educated how this works, people people are basically asking for a revolution. It's so draconian system. Oh, is that me? Or is it...
No, sorry, that was me tearing a piece of tin foil to put it in the roasting pan.
All right.
Sorry about that.
And James is like, I said in the chat, as far as I can tell, the financial sector can go and do one. It's like, oh, what are we going to replace it with? And I said manufacturing.
Well, look, exactly, and that's argued by John Mills. Like he said that if we focus on manufacturing, the financial services will go decline. But the big thing is that because of competition, that they'll be forced to reform if we focus on manufacturing.
Oh.
Yeah. Is somebody calling you? I think.
No.
There was somebody calling someone.
No idea. It's just me in the flat at the moment.
It might, someone calling Cameron, I think.
Yeah. We've got James says we've got nobody to manufacture anything. But exactly, that's the point, James. We need to manufacture. It's our own, we need to, like, I hate to use the phrase, but we need to take back control.
Yeah.
Yeah, basically.
I think we need to bring back manufacturing and all our.
Yeah, I mean, what I was reading about the EU don't want us to rebuild manufacturing. Well, if that's the case, we can tell them to go and start off and build it ourselves.
Well, you know why? Because Germany's got manufacturing.
Oh no, France and Germany, absolutely. I mean, that's why the EU is there. It's to keep other countries in check. Yeah.
And who's making money out of it? It's Germany.
Well, it's Germany. Like, look at the euro. That currency is for them. It's for no one else, really. But they're forcing on other people.
Well, I think Germany and Belgium, well, not Belgium, but the EU officials run it for their own convenience, don't they? They certainly don't run it for the members. The members are there to pay them money to keep them in their soft little jobs.
I look at the side chat and right. Our economy is obviously completely based in the city of London financial services now.
Was it Cameron?
We can't afford to decimate it. We've got so much money, so much wealth stored up in there. There's more money that moves through the city of London than our GDP, basically.
Yeah, there is.
So they're forced to take a hit. No, we could go in there and take it for ourselves, but not. Having a lot of attitude.
The
city of London exists, and we're run by the Corporation of London, which nobody knows about. It's basically its own autonomous part of the UK. That's how it operates. It's called because there's two Londons. This is the thing. City of London is another entity. And it's not like any other entity in this country. It's got the evolution. It's got its own regulations and laws. It's really hard.
Yeah. I mean, like we say, London is its own little country. Well, it is in that sense as well.
Yeah.
We've got two London. It's like the Vatican City of London, basically.
Yeah. Just off on a not a side. I think I came back. You're much clearer, Cameron.
Yeah. Oh, and Jack James said, because James Fielding says, having an economy on manufacturing isn't going to save us. But then Jack James says things that even Remainer economists won't say.
Yeah, well.
Yeah.
It's certainly going to help.
Oh God. James Fielding is trying to slag off socialism. I says, to be fair, Angels, this is socialism for you. Appeal to the poor and then make them suffer when in power.
Oh dear.
That's what the Tories do. Tories go about benefits challenges. You're unfair working man and woman, taking your welfare, taking your taxpayers' money. That's what Tories do.
Yeah.
Oh god, so that's neoliberal shill for you.
Yeah.
Oh god.
He needs to join a good party.
Yeah. Well, he's got the Yellow Tories. He wants to join the Yellow Tories.
No, I said a good party.
A good party.
Yeah.
Well, he hasn't got any. Well, I mean, he's lost.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, make him join the Communist Party. Let's just see what happens then.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Yeah. Let's just knock some sense into him.
Socialist for Europe.
Yeah, no, there's a Socialist Workers' Party and there's a couple of other minor socialist parties too.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
I know about Socialist Workers' Party. I know a few members. My dad used to be a member during the Blair years.
Yeah.
Before coming, but I actually got John Ball's book with me now, so I'm actually gonna say something about it. So I'm gonna read a part of it because it's quite interesting. So, 2016 was the year when the UK voted for Brexit and Donald Trump was elected president of the USA. Both events, which purely could lead to either one side of the Atlantic was either opposed or neither expected or wanted to see happening. Both occurred because of disconnected electorates across the whole Western world. There's a increasing divide between those who are doing well and those who are confident and content, but those feeling left behind, undervalued and alienated. With these contents manifesting and themselves increasing strength with populist naturalism, Europe and prospects elections in many countries where the outcomes may mirror upsets in the UK and USA. It's very clear what's happening. The big divide in Western societies nowadays between those who have done well after globalization and those who have not benefited from the changes of liberalized trade and financial flows are brought in train, at least nothing like those who have. So there's more, but I won't keep going on. But
yeah, I missed who you said that.
So I read that for his paragraph. I read parts of the paragraph and his conclusion in his book just now.
Right.
Yeah, it's really interesting on politics. Probably one of the best books I've read on politics lately, actually.
Right, it's good.
Oh god, they're all on the news now. David Miliband and all them lot. Yeah,
Well,
just look on the news at the moment on Facebook.
Oh dear. I don't know why the Milibands have suddenly jumped on the bandwagon again. I thought we'd rid ourselves of them for a little while.
It's the Channel 4 news I was looking at on Facebook.
Yeah.
It says, the danger for him and the danger for Britain is that Jeremy Corbyn becomes the midwife of hard Brexit, according to David Miliband.
The midwife?
Yeah, the midwife of hard Brexit, he says.
Right. Well, in my opinion, he should have been hard Brexit right from the beginning, and I'm sure he would have been damn sight happy of pushing that because it's his ethos, hard Brexit.
He said June the 24th, as soon as the vote happened, he said we should activate Article 50, which is fair to him.
It's what he, I know his party or the MPs don't want it, but it was his ideology. It's Brexit, really, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, because he knows full well that most of his policies can't be implemented unless we have Brexit.
Yeah, and I think that's why he hasn't probably been as performing as well.
Yeah.
With the same sort of fire.
Definitely.
You mentioned something about the Miliband. Now, do you know anything about Ed and David Miliband's father, Ralph Miliband? It's a bit like Tony Benn.
Oh.
He never became it was a massive author, very, very popular, but he never became an MP, I don't think. So this guy's called Ralph Miliband. He was a refugee forced out of Europe because of the Nazis, basically. Because I think, I'm not sure what background, and Matt could be a Jewish background Miliband comes from. I'm not entirely sure, but if you read his book about the history of socialism, that's very interesting as well.
Yeah.
Ralph, I got that on me as well, his book as well.
Yeah, and he said one of the best-known academic Marxists of his generation.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know much about him. Yeah. That was his father, was it?
Yeah, David and Ed's father.
Yeah, I did read that they were brought up, in a sort of political family. But it was a long while ago I read it, so I can't remember any details of it.
Yeah.
But then after seeing Ed Miliband on Dancing, I can't imagine him in politics anymore.
Don't want to read the part of Ralph Miliband's book. I got that on me as well. Right. So this is the introduction, right, of political parties claiming socialism to be the aim. The Labour Party has always been one of the most dogmatic, not about socialism, but about the parliamentary system, empirical and flexible. About all else, its leaders have always made devotion to the system that they fixed to point the reference as a conditional factor of their political behaviour. This is not simple to say their party has never been a party of revolution. Such parties have been quite willing to use opportunities of the parliamentary system offered as a means to furthering their aims. And so that's interesting as well. And there's also a historian on the about 1945 election who said that Labour represented British socialism, the Soviets represented the Russian form. So that's the guy, he's called Stephen Fielding, so that's the historian. So I thought that would be interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, Labour's always been an evolutionary socialist party, shall we say, by that.
I said nationalise the railways. I agree with that, Cameron.
Well, what they're actually doing now, actually, they're talking about actually on East Coast, which is local actually, because East Coast runs Doncaster railway station and runs from is it Edinburgh, Glasgow to London, King's Cross.
Yeah. They've opened some of the old lines in the country because they cut off. I mean, that's why half the villages are dead, is because they were shut after the Beeching report.
That Beeching was something that never done because, at the time, they thought the car was the future, but they expect what happened recently, where people will choose to commute on public transport now. So they misunderstood that, and I think that was under Labour actually. But Beeching cuts, I think it might be under Labour, and
there was Beeching someone else started it, and Beeching just finished it off, but Beeching always gets the blame for it.
Well, around here we've got a lot of former railway lines from that time. And what they did is they opened it to the public so people can walk there, because a lot of people cycling as well, most of them now. I think there's benefits to it.
That is the whole trouble, that some people wanted to take back and rebuild the old lines, but they've now been used for wildlife corridors and
there's a big debate. There's a big debate in Sheffield about the Sheffield Victoria station. They're saying, "Oh, we need to rebuild it. We need to build the Sheffield." I forgot the line was called now. Between Sheffield and it's another line between Sheffield and Manchester. It was, but talk about we need to open Sheffield Victoria station. Well, HG2 is a big opportunity. That let's take it away from Middlesbrough. Let's put it into Sheffield. Let's be Sheffield centric. So that's a big debate around actually about HG2 station, local station being at a former Beeching line.
Yeah.
But keep changing the route, and it's a bit of a mess.
Well, they did reopen a couple, and they've been really popular, but you can't really reopen. You can have a similar line, but if you reopen it exactly where they were, it's it's going to be an awful thing for wildlife, and also
it's impossible. Not as well. No, some of these places have got houses built on them now, so it'd be quite difficult to do so. Houses built on the former lines.
Yeah.
Like I mentioned that the Sheffield Victoria Station. Now most of that is a hotel now, and people talk about knocking it down for HS2, but that's another story. That's another mess.
No.
Talk about.
Well, Nine Elms, which was the big depot for the trains, that was where the train drivers picked up their trains at Nine Elms and then went into Waterloo. That's all been converted into flats and all that round there.
Mm.
Yeah.
So if they did have more rolling stock because we had more lines, they're then going to have to think, where are we going to store it all? Because when the trains aren't actually going to be used, you've got to have sidings and things like that.
James Jordan, to stop the electrification of many lines. You take example the Manchester to Leeds line. Those are promised to do the East Midlands train line. So that's between Sheffield and London.
Yeah.
And the Midlands. So there's quite a few that are cancelled, and part of the reason is HS2. The reason they cancelled it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the trouble too, when you put new lines, you've got to acquire people's houses sometimes. You just can't afford it. You can't avoid it.
Yeah. I brought you up now. Right, I live at 5 minutes from HS2 line. There's new good houses been built last year or two. Most of them are going to be knocked down for HS2. So you go around here, you go to the house, all the houses say, "Banner, stop HS2." You go to the shops, they all say stop HS2. It's not just a couple of houses, where houses being knocked down, a couple of businesses. So it's a massive issue around here. So you brought that up now. Yeah. And people are so angry about it. There was a meeting where we documented a few a few months ago, and people are fighting over property prices because HS2. People are fist fights and meetings about it. It's pretty crazy. There's one other thing now. It was quite a lot actually on national television about quote-unquote Doncaster having issues about HS2. It's been on the news quite a lot.
Yeah.
Recently.
Another thing is it's money, because even if you're not losing your house, people don't want a train at the bottom of their garden. And if their house was worth 300,000 because it's in a beautiful, quiet country spot, and then you've got a train going through it, they don't want it there. They want it to go somewhere else where it's not affecting their house price.
Well, this is one of the cheapest places in the country to buy a house, but it's going to be more cheap because of HS2.
Yeah, that's it. Because it doesn't matter how cheap your house is, you still got to buy another one if you move.
No.
Or if you want to sell your house, you get less, and people don't like that, do they?
Yeah, because around here, we already live near Railway Line, and another one being nearby. The people don't like that. There's actually been some discussion about brand.
I suppose if it was us, somebody suddenly came and said, "Right, you've got to move."
Well, yeah. Have you heard of Donald Trump and his golf course a few years ago? Somewhere in Aberdeenshire, and this person, for years, refused to move his house, so Trump could build his golf course. This was about 10, 15 years ago. I'm not sure if you've heard about it.
No, I don't.
I'm going to look that up now, but what I'm going to say is that people shouldn't be forced to move. It's not really the right thing to do. They could easily change that route. Honestly, they could move it like a couple, about 100 meters. 100 meters west, and put it on put it in the footprint and build the fences on it, and then nobody had a problem because it's just a field. It feels like that's flooded. It always gets flooded. So Just do that.
But also, you've got to. It's all to do with the curvature of the lines and things like that. Sometimes you know, you can't
lines.
have more than a certain curvature on a train line.
That's true, but you could plan it in such a way. Now, it's not short area. It's quite a long distance. You could plan it differently. There's also one big issue that they're trying to bribe the area by saying that because really put a train station there, if you're shook about it.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. We ain't got enough train stations around here, but I don't know about that.
I know. I mean, basically, they should never have closed the lines when they got rid of them with Beeching, because it was really the downfall of the English countryside. The only people that go to a lot of villages now are second home, rich people that just go there for the weekend.
Yeah.
You know, there's no community, there's no shop, because the people who come down have already been to Waitrose and done their shopping. It's in the back of the car. And the rest of the time, I mean, I know up at Topsham, half the houses are shut during the winter.
Yeah.
And the shops up there are starting to close now. Cafes keep going because you get visitors come. But a lot of the houses are holiday homes, or they're rented flats you know, it's the demise of the countryside, really, in a way, isn't it?
Yeah, but I mean, it's all basically being sucked into London, isn't it? That's what's been happening.
Well, it is, but then when Beeching was there, and when you had what they called Green Line buses, people could commute from little villages without having to have a car or whatever. Whereas they don't go and buy houses there now, because the average person looks to see if they can walk to the station or whatever, don't they?
Yeah.
Especially if you've got to drive into London. Most people don't want to drive, they want to get a train.
Yeah, that's true.
And years ago, you used to be able to go to Victoria Coach Station, for instance, and you could go all over the country on Green Line buses, not just main centres.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, and you can't anymore. It's all sort of false economy. They closed them all, and then the places on the routes just die. Don't they?
Yeah.
And they lose. I mean, Topsham had 2 banks. There isn't one there.
Yeah.
You know, and one only went about 6 months ago. They haven't even. Yeah, there's not even a teller in the street anymore where you can get your money out. There is a small co-op there, so you can go and get your money out there. But so it's going to become more and more just a second home place, I think.
Yeah.
But what do you do apart from re-nationalise the railways?
Yeah. But that's what it is. It's all about cutting services to make a profit. That's what it is under privatisation.
Yeah, that is it. Well, when they first privatised, all the railway companies got rid of, I forget how many. My brother could tell you off the top of his head, but they got rid of hundreds and hundreds of drivers, and the guys in charge apparently said to each other, well, that's fine, we'll take it down low, and then if we need to employ more, we can. But what they forgot was that with the trains at that time, it took something like 2 years to learn the routes. So you couldn't just go out and say, oh, I want to be a train driver, right, come and do a couple of months course and you can drive a train. Yeah. It wasn't. So then Derek went back and fought for them because they wanted to re-employ them, and he got a massive increase in their pay rates, and it was all down to the idiots that had done privatisation, because if they'd thought it through in the first place, they wouldn't have made them all redundant.
Yeah. I just found it out about Trump on that golf course in Scotland. Now, I knew this happened. So there's a guy called Michael Forbes who basically refused to sell his house for years.
Yeah.
So those who share it about it. It's quite interesting about. So do you want me to share it? Because it's quite interesting. All right.
Yeah. Yeah. Share it.
Share your screen. Yep, I can see that.
I saw it and then it's disappeared.
Can you see it now?
Oh, there we
are. Yes, now, yeah. Oh, it's disappeared again.
Oh no, it's I can see it now.
So, yeah.
Right, there. Yeah, I've got it.
Yeah.
Why does it do that, Sam? It sort of goes down the bottom every so often.
Yeah, it's the problems began when Trump first clashed with Michael Forbes, a local farmer who owned land next to his golf course, but refused to sell it. The farmer remembers Trump strolling up between his land, oh gosh, with a dozen bodyguards. That must be hell.
Refused to sell it. The farmer remembers strolling up onto his land, led by half a dozen bodyguards. The first thing he said was, what's this land worth? $25 an acre. I said, in your fucking dreams.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
That's just the out in 10 seconds.
The defiant Forbes continued. He was an asshole. The only regret I have is I didn't drop him on his ass when I met him.
I wonder if he sold. Did he say if he sold out to him eventually, or is he still after his land?
So no, I think he won in the end. I think the Scottish government helped him. Even though the SNP hate Trump, they helped Trump now take his land basically. I'm certain he did, but yeah. So this enraged. Yeah, this enraged the famously thin-skinned businessman, who then trashed Forbes in front of every camera he could find. One of you tweeted about him. He called Forbes disgusting. That sounds like Trump.
Press Forbes at every camera. Called Forbes land disgusting. Later saying he lives in a pig-like atmosphere. There's a try getting the Scottish government to seize Forbes land. Something to Palmer laughs this day. Forbes' mother also finds the whole thing hilarious. She thinks he's a clown. The more emboldened Forbes neighbours as well, who joined forces with them to repel Trump. For the full story, read Vanity Fair's 2008 account of their conflict.
Oh. I could just imagine the Scots standing up to Trump.
Yeah. Isn't Trump half Scottish, I think? I think he's half Scottish, isn't he?
Yeah. And if you remember,
or something, isn't it?
Yeah, if you remember on the news,
if
you remember on the news, but this thing came up, it said the reason he wants this golf course because he's Scottish. He said Scottish is important to me. I want to give some back to Scotland. But at that time, SPP loved him. You know, they helped him do this. Now they hate him when he becomes president.
Oh wow.
Man.
Oh. Actually, I think I might need to go now. Actually, I need to. Go.
Yeah. I think I'm going to end this in a bit. So.
All right, that's fine.
So that's all right.
All right.
Yeah, I'm just going to cook my vegetables in the microwave, so I'll probably go as well, because otherwise it'll it goes peculiar with my internet. It cuts it out.
That's weird. It doesn't happen to me at all.
Well, I think it's because where I've got, it's like a whole wall of, an electronic boiler, and I've got it's a convection microwave, so it sort of pulses in and out. the time. And then I've got those plugs that you can plug your iPad and that into.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and the whole wall is sort of electric, so I think.
Oh, okay.
And then on the other side is the TV connection in the lounge, backs onto it. So for some reason, when I put the microwave or when the boiler kicks in, sometimes the internet sort of goes a bit.
That's
odd.
weird.
It is. Never mind. So I might disappear, Cameron.
That's fine.
That was really good. It was interesting.
Yeah, it was really good.
So she likes it then. So do you think it's a bit different than normal? Me doing it like this.
Yeah. I mean, because you've only got 12 subscribers, you need to build up a bit, so we can help you with that.
Yeah, I did. I probably do.
Yeah, and I don't, like I said, I don't know what you did after you went away and came back, but you've been much clearer. It's not sounding as echoey or whatever it was before.
All right. So the mic was like echoey.
Yeah.
Yeah, whereas sometimes when you talk, it sort of cuts. Not cut. It doesn't cut right out, but it's sort of. It's not smooth.
Oh, has it got?
Whereas when you're.
Has it got robotic?
Since you cut back, it's smooth.
So is it got robotic, or is it me actually speaking? Because I know I can be very hard to understand at times.
No, it's not you speaking. Like now, I can understand you perfectly because you're just. It's just like having a conversation with someone, but sometimes and before, when you first started it, this stream, it's sort of, I don't know, it's sort of, it doesn't break right out, but it's just jerky. That's what it is. It's jerky.
Yeah.
Whereas it's not like that at the moment. Do you notice any difference on yours, Aston, or?
Jerky, or a little bit actually.
Yeah, I mean, it might be my iPad. Well, I'm on the Galaxy thing. It might be the reception, but certainly you're much, you're just really clear at the moment.
It could be my connection. Maybe. It's a bit erratic.
Yeah, my connection is a bit weird at uni. Mine's like an open connection, so.
Yeah. Well, are you sitting in a different spot or anything at the moment?
I am actually. I went in the kitchen and then I went upstairs.
Maybe it's better when you're outside. I don't know. It sounds, I can hear every word you say now, whereas otherwise, sometimes I have to really sort of strain to hear what you're saying.
Yeah, I get worse connection in the kitchen, so that could be it.
Yeah, perhaps it's that.
Yeah, I know I get worse connection there, but I thought it'd be all right. But who knows?
Yeah. No, where you are right now is really good.
Yeah, because I'm probably just directly above the router. Probably why.
Yeah. Anyway, I'll go. I'll talk to you later.
All right.
Bye.
Cameron, I'm going to go now, so we should probably end the stream.
So.
Yeah.
I'll say bye to everyone on the stream. Jack James said do more streams, Cam. So
definitely.
I consider it. I'm gonna be busy the next few days, so maybe I'll do one on the weekend. Then maybe right. So it happens, maybe. But so I'll say bye to everyone.
Right.
Yeah.